Diablo IV is the best thing Blizzard has released in a very long time. While I wouldn't put it on the tier of the first 2 years of Overwatch 1, it's certainly more fun than I've ever had playing Heroes of the Storm. The thing that strikes me most about it, as someone who's never played a Diablo game before this one, is how much it feels like a single-player game with a live service sprinkled on top of it. While I applaud Blizzard for the only in-game purchases being cosmetics, which I want about as badly as I want to see a Bobby Kotick redemption story, I can't help but feel some of their other live service mechanics are a deterrent to this great game, namely the Renown system. So let's get into why the Renown system doesn't really work in Diablo IV, and how in the long run I think it'll be the death of the game. While Renown seems like an optional system to engage with, it's optional in the way that Tears of the Kingdom shrines are optional. You theoretically can beat the game with only 4 potion slots, but realistically you're going to need as many as you can get by the time you reach the late game. But here's the thing, Renown is much more important to certain classes and builds than it is to others. With the huge variety of playstyles in Diablo IV, each system will be of different importance to individual players. For example, my main account is a Bleed Barbarian with the Iron Skin healing ability, and I barely even used potions throughout my playthrough. Meanwhile, when I switched to a Sorcerer, if I so much as missed a shot, I was chugging potions because my life literally depended on it. The main issue with Renown is the way it's earned. Blizzard presents Renown as a passive system that happens as you naturally play the game and complete side objectives. However, these aren't generally as passive as Blizzard thinks they are. It would be a whole separate essay to talk about how there's no difference in gameplay between completing the campaign and doing side dungeons. Still, my main point is that side dungeons aren't necessary for the story, aside from earning Renown. Of course, I recognise that the necessity of side dungeons and side quests will be different for every player. Maybe your build heavily revolves around gaining perks for your character, but for me and a lot of players, these dungeons are there for completion purposes and are best saved for after the campaign. The solution to this issue is to truly make Renown as passive as possible, and actually have it make sense for it to be called Renown. I don't understand how finding a waypoint or clearing a dungeon that no sane NPC would ever go within 20 nautical miles of in any way helps to make me more respected. I totally get it for side quests, but why does activating Altars of Lilith help me get more famous? Also, what is up with these point values? Strongholds and dungeons are practically identical, so why is there such a deficit in points awarded? So how can Diablo IV improve Renown by making it as passive as possible while still fitting with gaining respect from NPCs? Simple. Killing overworld monsters. Unless you're desperate for the tiny but gradual amounts of XP you'll build up from fighting them, it's much more convenient to ride past most overworld monsters. But Diablo IV could uniquely reward us by having Renown tied to the number of monsters killed on the overworld. This would disincentivize fast travel and engage players in the world more. The game already takes 20 hours to give us a horse, so you might as well reward us for slogging around Sanctuary. And what better way to make us more respected than by having us make the roads safer for NPCs? The main thing that really scares me about Renown is how Blizzard has announced that it will be reset every season, which troubles me. How is that going to work? The only thing worth grinding Renown for is the potion upgrades. Both skill and paragon points have alternate methods of earning them, and if they just keep adding potion upgrades, then I won't be motivated by the time I have 30 potions. I've already grown pretty sick of grinding Renown for this video, so when it resets to nothing, I might very well stop playing Diablo IV, because it'll feel like all my grinding was wasted. Diablo IV is a great game because it feels like a single player game, but Blizzard's attempt to get me to keep coming back to grind Renown for them feels insipid and demotivates me from playing the game. Unless Renown can become a truly passive system, I fear my time with Diablo IV may be over quite soon.